All right, welcome Team Catalyst. I'm super excited to be sharing my tips for running successful challenge groups. But what I first want to say is that there are tons of ways to run challenge groups. My way might not be something that works for you. And what I would suggest is just doing what feels natural for you and what feels most manageable. So my goal for this call is to share some ideas not only to how to create and theme your challenge groups, but how to invite to them effectively with the thought process of making them engaging, and how to manage your time in challenge groups, and also how to create public social media posts from your challenge groups. Okay, so I'm going to try and cover all of that. And I'm going to talk relatively quickly just so I save my voice. And then at the end, we'll open up for questions. And I did not have a chance to go through the Team Success Club file for raffles, but I will do that when we get off the call, and I'll just go live in our team page and I will call the winners for that. So if you are new to the team, we do monthly raffles where if you hit Success Club at any level, so Success Club 1, that's helping one person change their life, you're entered to win a team prize, and they are personalized gifts from me. Also, if you're adding coaches to your network, so if you go Emerald by adding 2 coaches, if you go level 2 Emerald by adding 4 coaches to your network, or if you go level 3 Emerald, which is adding 6 coaches to your network. So that's just kind of a side note, but let's get into the nitty gritty. So the first thing that I want to share is, and again, these are just my ideas, guys. So take what speaks to you and apply it to what you think will work for your style. There is a challenge group guide. So that's the first thing I want to tell you is when you're concerned about running a challenge group, if you don't know what to post or you haven't been through a specific program, there is a guide in the back office for every single program. It provides 1 post a day. It provides content and images. So you can actually run a challenge group without feeling overwhelmed, okay? But the thing with me, in my experience, is people appreciate genuine challenge groups where they're not templated. So that was one of my biggest things when people switch to me, for instance, when they are, they've dropped off from a challenge group or they're switching coaches, because people do that all the time. It's one of their biggest comments to me is always, I love that your groups are not templated. I love that your groups are not copy paste. So I would suggest if you are following the challenge group guide through the back office, also either just put your own flair on it or add a post a day. You're always wanting to add value to a challenge group, because a challenge group is what sets you aside from ordering online without a coach. Or a lot of times, I mean, people are more successful when they're in a successful challenge group. And our goal as coaches is to help people get results. That's how you create a business opportunity, but that's also how you help change somebody's life, is to be there every day. A coach is nothing more than a cheerleader. So you don't have to make them super fancy, and they don't have to be super time consuming. So what I do and what I suggest for inviting to a challenge group, and I have a whole list here for you guys. First thing I do is I always allow multi-programs. I never run a challenge group where you have to do the 21-day fix or you have to do the fix extreme, because what that does is that creates a lot of stress for you to create multiple groups or to target people that maybe you can help 10 people. But if you're doing just a 21-day fix extreme group, only 3 of those people are going to be interested in that program. So either you're running multiple groups and they're smaller and they're less engaging, or you're eliminating somebody that could use your help, and just based on the program that you picked, they're not going to join your challenge group. So I never promote for a specific challenge group and exclude anybody. So I always make it a 30-day group now instead of a 21-day group. That's my choice, but I find that that works better. It also allows me to tag people in late. So if they're doing the 21-day fix and they want to tag in, I know that Dree had posted in our team page, what about, it's too late to invite to my group that starts next week. No, it's not. All their workouts are available on Beachbody On Demand. Maybe they won't get their Shakeology for the first 4 days, but you're pushing somebody back a whole month by stopping the invite process. You never stop the invite process. And if you have somebody mid-month that wants to tag in, get them engaged in your current group as a latecomer and give them a month and a half of service. So just add them to your next challenge group. Hey, listen, I have a group. You'll be tagging in late, but why don't you start now? Let's not wait until Monday, right? Let's not wait till Monday. And you can also have access to my next month group. I'll just tag you in so you have the bonus of a coach for an extended period of time, right? So that builds your momentum in your challenge groups too. So never stop inviting. There's never a time where, that being said, you always want to create an event for yourself and have a target date every month picked out. When is your next challenge group? Show of hands for coaches that have been working this business. Do you have a, raise your hand if you have a target date for your next group, not one that's already open. Mine is October 24th. So everybody should have a date in mind. When you have a date, you have a target to invite to, and you have a deadline to offer to people. So if you say, hey, do you want to join my next challenge group? That's like saying, hey, you want to come to a party? Well, when's the party? Like, I don't know what you're, like, maybe I'm available, maybe I'm not. So I'm running a challenge group. It starts October 24th. Do you have an interest in? And that's how I work my invite process. So I also like to create a themed event. So I have the Healthy Mama movement, which is very, very popular. The core to force is going to be lose the belly. And I like that because it is self-explanatory for the event, but it doesn't exclude anybody. Like Healthy Mama is really geared towards moms, and I want to make sure that I'm also helping non-moms, dads, whoever. So I always try to change it, but I always pick a theme. And then what I like to do is I invite like-minded people. So the goal as a coach, honestly, is you want to work with people that want the same things you want. Because if you're working with people that are not like-minded, that don't have similar goals or similar interests, people that you can carry on a conversation with, it's going to feel like work. Challenge groups should feel like fun. Challenge groups should be something you look forward to checking into every day and not feel like, oh God, like sometimes you feel drained because people aren't posting and they're not engaging. And I have a tip for that. So make it people that you want to be around. Be selective in who you're working with, because when you stop throwing darts blindly and, invite, I'm not saying don't invite everybody, but you attract who you are. Like attracts like. So you want to create an environment. And when you do that, challenge groups in my mind are like parties. So you have this party and you're in charge of the seating arrangements, and you're in charge of, like, you think if you're going to a bridal shower or whatever, they have the party games and you're kind of in charge of hosting it, but you want people to talk to each other. So when you have people that have a common interest, or you pick a theme that you can bring up talking points, it makes it a lot easier for you as a coach to have a successful challenge group when people can start relating to each other and you're not constantly the source of initiating conversation, right? So I always think, how can I make people feel comfortable with one another, not just comfortable with me? How can I get people to feel confident in this group? So I always, and this is also my biggest tip based on the complaint of crickets. What do you do when your challenge group is not engaging? The first thing I do starts before my challenge group opens. I privately talk to each person attending, and I set the expectations. Hey, are you somebody that posts in a group every day? Is this something you want to do? Are you more of a lurker? I don't force people to log their food. I don't force people to post. What I do ask is I ask them to set the expectations for me before going in. So that's why I prefer a larger group. I try to have about 20 people in a challenge group. You don't have to do that. Some coaches like to run a group of 5 because that's what's manageable in their day. But for me, a group of 20 makes it more engaging and less work for me. Because if I have 20 people, commonly 5 are going to be lurkers. So there's going to be 5 quiet people in my groups. That's just what happens. But I know that going in, so I don't stress like, oh my gosh, so-and-so is not posting today. We already set that expectation at the beginning of the group. So that's like another big tip that I would just like to put out there is ask your challengers what level of participation you can expect. Instead of expecting from them and demanding, make it a mutual relationship. Your job is to help them, not to force them to do something uncomfortable. Some people are not comfortable with selfies. That's okay. Like, post a motivational quote. Just show up. Give them an option. So that's what I would say. Now, You can have a smaller group, but if you want more engagement, tag in with a fellow coach on Team Catalyst, guys. I often co-lead challenge groups. Jocelyn is in my group right now because I love Jocelyn's energy and she wanted to be plugged in. There are no rules. You don't have to run these groups by yourself. You're part of a team for a reason. And it's not a bad thing to team up with another coach, because what happens is your group is more successful and your challengers are more successful. And that's our ultimate goal, is to help people feel better. So I always say, if you're struggling, tag up with a buddy and just run a co-led challenge group, or have 3 coaches team up. There's nothing wrong with that. I personally find any groups over 25 to be too big. And then you lose that personal connection for me. But some coaches probably run groups of 100. It doesn't matter, whatever works for you. So in order to get engagements, here's what I do. I always have a game plan. So I typically will theme my challenge group. And this month I did a 30-day Google Doc template for my Healthy Mama group. I didn't create posts. I just created 30 talking points, 30 common questions that come up as moms, 30 common complaints, 30 common conversations that I've had. How do you get to sleep when you have a kid? How do you work out when you have a toddler? Talking points. And then what I do is I go live in my challenge groups, or I create a post on the fly that's relevant to what's going on in the group. So again, it's like, I don't have to think. It's kind of like, okay, well, I know I'm going to do the lower fix today. So I have kind of a guide, but I don't, it only takes 10 minutes to create that little bullet point content. So again, you can use the back office challenge group guide if you want. You can create your own, but that's just what works for me. I always change it up. Sometimes I will run a raffle for the Fix8 cookbook. Sometimes I will throw in random like water challenges. Sometimes I will throw in a fitness challenge. I always keep it fresh because I always invite past challengers to repeat. Again, that's to my benefit because it helps me run a successful challenge group, and it helps them get extended support. But it also then forces me to create new content because I don't want the same content going for the same people. So that's why I'm not a copy and paste person. I always go live in my groups at least 5 times a week. It can be 1 minute. It can be anything, like anything you want, just being genuine and creating a relatable, comfortable space for people. I think that's important, and it doesn't happen in the Beachbody On Demand or the Beachbody app yet. So that's why I still run my groups on Facebook. Again, that's a personal choice. I think the app is great. It has that accountability factor for checking Shakeology and checking your fitness, but it doesn't, for me, it lacks that personal connection yet. So if you're somebody that has very, very limited time and you're not comfortable going live, use the Beachbody Challenge Tracker app. That's another way to do it, okay? I have started incorporating personal development. So if you're somebody that's struggling with content and what to post, open a book club as part of your challenge group. It is the best way to keep yourself on track with personal development, but it also creates conversation, and quite honestly, it gets your people in the right mindset, creating less work for you because you're no longer their only cheerleader. They're becoming their own cheerleader through the use of personal development. So pick a new book every month, or have your challengers all read The Compound Effect together. That's something that will help them come day 22 or come day 31, whenever your challenge group is over. They're going to be stronger to move on and potentially become a coach, which would be awesome. But it just gives them a tool for long-term success to incorporate PD. So pick a book or pick a podcast. If you don't want to have people purchase a book, find a free podcast. There's one called, one of my graduates just shared it. It's called the Shameless Mom Academy. It's an awesome podcast. They're 30-minute podcasts, so you could assign one podcast a week, and then that could be your talking point for the week. So if your theme is not a mom's group, don't pick a mom podcast. Find one that's free and give these people plant that seed for that personal development, right? Because that's a coaching behavior that we're training as well. In order to grow your team, you want to grow coaches. Coaches come from challenge groups. The best coaches on my team were challengers first. They were friends first. They weren't people coming in just for the income opportunity. They were people that were passionate about helping people. So introducing personal development for me is one of my favorite like transitions that I've made in my challenge groups. I participate in my challenge groups every day, meaning I share my workout. I don't necessarily log my food, but I'll share a meal or I'll share a recipe. Like today I had a sweet tooth craving. I toasted up some apples with cinnamon. Like that was my sweet tooth craving. It took me 1 second to snap a picture of it. But I had 2 people comment and be like, oh my God, thank you. I needed that today. That was it. Like does not have to overthink the process. Challenge groups are just sharing what you're doing. But I always participate in mine, because if you're just posting a template and not sharing your day, like your real life day, it's less personal. So I allow graduates and late joiners to pop in. I team up with other coaches. I always add value. So I try to think outside of just, okay, here's the nutrition guide. They already have that. They already paid for that. So I try to add something of value at least a couple times a week that's outside of our like Beachbody realm, whether it's mindset or organization or whatever the theme of the group is. Like moms struggle with organization. Okay, what's your whiteboard look like for your family calendar? Like, let's talk about that. So, and again, that's how you get people connecting with each other too. So I ask a lot of questions in my challenge groups, and I always comment on their posts. I don't just click like. Think about when you're posting to social media and you're hoping for engagement and somebody clicks like, wouldn't you rather they comment on your post so you can start a conversation? I mean, it's one thing to click like, but it's another thing to congratulate them on a job well done or ask a question about why they were feeling frustrated and not just kind of skip over that. So now here are my tips for time saving, and then I'll open it up for you guys. So I downloaded the Facebook group app. It's free, and this helps me tremendously. I never go into my Facebook groups through the Facebook app. I actually go through the groups app. So I have like, I don't know if you would be able to see it on here. Let me see and this is how I run my business effectively for time management, and it takes discipline. Okay, so when you see all these groups, I don't know if you can see that really. See all those little circles? Those are all my little groups that I'm in. So in the morning, I go through a boop, boop, boop. I have a certain order. I post to my group, because remember, I have my ideas of what I'm going to talk about each day. So I have a Google Doc. It's 2 seconds. You know, I check my Google Doc. Okay, what was my topic that I created? I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to leave the group. I don't read posts. I don't linger in there. I sit down at night, and that's because that's when it works for me. And I scroll through the group on my laptop, and it takes me about 5 to 10 minutes to go through and type comments, read through people's day. And this also helps because, you know what, maybe Jessica checked in at 9, but then Andrea checked in at noon, and then Shannon checked in at 5. And so if I just wait until the end of the day, I'm sure that I'm checking in on all of my people instead of, well, if I check in at noon, maybe I missed Shannon because she didn't get in the group till 5, right? So I also set the expectations that if they ask a question, give me 24 hours. Will it always take me 24 hours to respond? No, but I've set that boundary for myself. So I post and run. I use discipline in the Facebook groups, and especially like during the day, if I post my apple snack, I post it and I put my phone down. Like, I don't linger in the groups. Now, if I'm just sitting there and my daily vital behaviors are done and my kids aren't home, or maybe they're playing with a friend and I'm just hanging out, yeah, you might find me in my challenge group, hanging out, chatting, because I like actually enjoy challenge groups. That's one of my favorite parts of the business. And I think that that's where I find the most value, and that I find the potential to help people most is in my challenge groups. So I'm going to check the chat box. Sorry, okay, Tina had to come back. Okay. So those are my top tips. If you have a question, if you have a share, I would appreciate anybody raising their hand or asking a question, because this is the time where you can really get team involvement and feedback. If you're looking for what kind of themes for your challenge groups for the upcoming holiday season, mine is October 24th because it's 30 days and done before Thanksgiving. So it's October 24th to November 23rd. Guess what? You're done. You're done for Thanksgiving. And then I would start another one the Monday after Thanksgiving, because think about Thanksgiving weekend. How many people are going to be ready to not feel like crap after Thanksgiving weekend, done before Christmas? So that's how I'm timing my groups, but that might not work for you. You don't have to follow my lead. You also should have a free group every month, whether it's a 3-day group, a 5-day group, a 10-day group. I'm actually going to be running a 30-day free group for creating the Miracle Morning, because that's the personal development book that I'm reading, and that's going to be an open group for people. So it's my first 30-day group, but it's not really so much fitness-based. It's going to be mindset-based and organization-based, and that's new. It's something new and different. Everybody and their brother will run a Crock Pot group, and that is okay. But if you are struggling getting people to sign up for your groups, change your groups, because again, people will see that in their feed a lot. So you kind of want to stand out. Does anybody have any free group ideas that they want to share? Anne, go ahead, unmute yourself. You don't know how? Okay, hang on, let me see. I'm going to unmute. Let me try and unmute everybody. Can I do that? Where are you, Anne? Okay, Anne, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
I don't have an idea for free groups. I would like ideas for free groups.
Okay.
And really how they're run and how you invite for a free group.
Okay, so I invite for a free group the same way that I invite for a challenge group, private messages, and a social media post about what the group will entail, and I create a Facebook event on my personal page. So I treat free groups with the same respect that I treat paid groups. I put as much effort into my free groups, if not more, than I put into my challenge groups. You are a yogi, right? Like, that's your thing. That's your passion. There are a lot of people out there that maybe would like to start with something that's not intimidating, and yoga for me doesn't sound intimidating if you're new to fitness. It sounds like, okay, I can stretch. I can get up and stretch. So 5-minute yoga mornings, and setting a positive routine and teaching 3 yoga moves. That's you. You already know that stuff. You enjoy teaching that stuff. Pick something for your free group that you enjoy, because if it feels like work, it's going to come off like it feels like work in your challenge group. And each one of us has something special to offer. There is no coach that doesn't have any value. There is nobody that's not qualified to coach. It's just taking what you love and putting it out there. For me, it's like busy moms, man, stay-at-home moms. I get it. It's a grind. It's so hard to be a stay-at-home mom. Not that it's any harder or less hard to be a working mom, but I just relate with those people. I also relate with super busy moms. So my groups lately have been mom-based, but you're in a different stage. You're like pseudo empty nest. Like, what do you do with yourself to stay active and healthy when your kids don't live there anymore? Like, it doesn't have to be clean eating. It can be whatever. Free groups are just relationship builders. And as long as you're offering some type of value, you'll gain a following from them. And eventually maybe they will decide that, okay, you know what? I've been watching Anne. She's been doing that for like a year. I'm going to try that because what I'm trying isn't working. It's not making me feel fulfilled. It's not making me feel healthy. So it's not an instant gratification thing. Free groups don't mean like, I'm going to do a free group on Monday through Friday, and the next Monday, everybody's going to buy a challenge pack. No. It's like 3 months later, maybe one of those people will buy a challenge pack, and that's okay. So does anybody else have a free group on the agenda that they want to share what their free group is? Nobody has a free group? Dre, what's your free group? You got to unmute yourself.
So I've run the same 5-day free group. Sorry, I take this up there. For 10 different times now, and the membership keeps growing. So it's a Rise and Shine free 5-day morning workout challenge. So it's for people who know the benefits but really struggle with really making yourself getting up and working out, which is me, or at least has been me. So there's a group of us that keeps growing. This is the first week right now that we're in that we've taken off since like July or beginning of August. So I'm going to start that up again next week. And I run it pretty open in that people can do their workout at whatever time in the morning works for their schedules, because people start at different times, and they can do whatever workout they want, whether
Is
it's a
it
walk
all
or
beach body or any
it's
workout?
anything they want. They can go for a walk. They can do their own video they have. They don't even have to share what it is. They can just say, I did 30 minutes of cardio. And so I try to post at night before I, go to bed, of like, see you in the morning, and encourage people to check in when they first get up, because I know I'm laying in bed and hitting snooze and going, oh, and then it sees like, oh, Rhonda's up and she's starting her country heat, giddy up. Okay, let me go. So getting up and then posting like either pictures afterwards or just all done, so it's kind of a nice way to start the morning, and people are encouraging each other. So, and I thought about extending it, but doing the 5-day challenge, I think, is really good for people, because people have said, you know what, I'm going to be traveling next week. I'm going to take next week off, but let me know when you do the next one. So they'll just jump back in. And like I said, it's been growing. So I need to create the event for next Monday's group to start. I know I probably have a guaranteed probably at least 7 or 8 people that I know are like chomping at the bit to get back in again. And then I'm hoping to add a few additional ones. So,
Awesome.
so
And
it's
if
good.
it's working,
Yeah.
if it's working, guys, if you find a rockin' free group like that worked really well, don't change it. Only change it if it's not working, or if you're getting bored with it, because again, that comes through. But if it's working, keep cycling that. The other thing I wanted to touch base on is creating content from your challenge groups. That's a time saver that I forgot to mention. So a lot of times I feel like the most genuine posts for me a lot of times come from posts that I put into my challenge group, because I already have those people. I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm being real. I'm off the cuff. And so what I'll do is I'll just be like, I'll post it and be like, I should have posted that publicly. I'll copy it, paste it, schedule it to my like page. Boom, there's a post. There's content. Recognizing challengers and talking about challenge groups is developing content for your like page. It is developing content for your personal page. Not only does it make people feel good to be recognized, but it creates a question mark of, what's this challenge group that I keep hearing about? Oh, so-and-so is doing that challenge group. Okay, so-and-so. So I'll tag my challengers publicly, and it's never anything like uncomfortable. I would never post a before and after or an image of them that isn't already on their public profile. That's a rule that I follow. If it's on their personal page, then it's already out in social media, but anything else I don't post without permission. But I tag people and I create content based on the conversations in my challenge group. So things that I'm talking about with my challengers, most frequently that shows up on my like page 4 days later. Whether they notice or not doesn't matter. They've already gotten that content. I also will create posts for my like page and simply share it into my challenge group. So I'm not creating double content. I'm just placing it in different spots. So, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to come up with, 96 posts a week. Like, if you have a good, solid content in your challenge group, use it on your personal page. Just maybe copy paste little components of it. And something else I want to start doing is asking my challengers to at least share my group as a word of mouth. Like, that's how you build your business and really build your business. I mean, you can pay for boosted ads, you can pay for challenge group ads, but I think the real relationships come from organic reach in my business. It could be different for your business. I don't know. It's different for everybody. I'm sure at some point, like, I've had plenty of challengers come in from challenge group advertisements, the paid ads on my like page, but not many of them last more than 3 months, to be honest. So I think that that's kind of just important to not be scared to ask for referrals. I mean, I really feel like if you're coaching the right way, you really are providing a service. It's just like me. I don't feel uncomfortable saying, hey, could you mention my music class? Like, I love my music class. I love those kids. Jessica comes to my music class. Jocelyn, that's how we all met to begin with. So, you know, if you're passionate about what you do and you really feel like you're putting your heart into your business, you should be 100% comfortable saying, hey, would you mind sharing this for me? Maybe you're not interested in Core de Force, but maybe one of it, like on your friends list, is interested in Core de Force, and you could connect us, and that would be awesome. And I would really appreciate if you could do that for me. Everybody has a Core de Force group or multi-program group going, right? Show of hands, who's going to complete Core de Force in November? I'm going to be like a week behind because of Ultimate Reset, but it looks awesome. October 24th is the next preview. So make sure that you're talking about it in advance. Make sure that you're private messaging people about the sneak peek preview. Give them the free 30 days Beachbody On Demand link. You could revolve a 5-day free group starting October 24th, launching Core de Force. Like, join this free 5-day group and get a peek at Core de Force. Like, that's a great twist for people to join a free 5-day group. They might not know that everybody's going to have access to it if you have Beachbody On Demand. So it's a free service that you're giving them. Then you could try a new workout each day for 5 days, starting with the brand new Core de Force. Like, that's a great free group idea. And then that would lead into, okay, well, the program launches November 1st. I'm running a challenge group the following Monday. So from October 24th until the first Monday of November, that's your relationship building window to see if they would like to try that program for the month of November, committing to a challenge group. You can run your groups with challenge pack purchase is a must. You can run it with fitness program only. There are no rules. I find way better results for people that are invested in a challenge pack. People that buy a fitness program, in my experience, I have if I did a percentage, I would say 10% of the people actually make the entire challenge group. They quit 2 weeks in. They're not connected. They're not invested. They're not following the nutrition plan. They're struggling with energy. They're complaining of cravings, and it's kind of brings my groups down. So for me, if it's not a free group for everybody, there's a difference. I run a free group and I run a challenge group. The challenge groups are challenge packs, but you do not have to do it that way. There's no rules. So whatever works for you, especially if you're a newer coach, you might want to offer fitness only, or you might want to offer some type of blend, whatever works, for whoever you're speaking to. And I think that's it, guys. So those are like my top shares on challenge groups. And honestly, I feel like there are a lot of people who don't know what challenge groups are or what they offer. So get them in for a 24-hour sneak peek. Instead of trying to explain what a challenge group is, just ask if they have interest in learning about one and put them in one for free for a 1 or a 2 or a 3-day sneak peek, whatever you feel is enough. That's the best way to explain a challenge group. It's like, do you want to buy this car without test driving it? No. Like, I don't know how that car is going to handle. Maybe it's touchy on the brakes. It might smell weird. Like, you got to put them in it so they know what a challenge group is like. And the goal, again, is to work with people that have like-minded goals, because otherwise it feels like work, and coaching should just be part of your lifestyle. So I hope that helps everybody. I will go through the raffle for our team, and I will pull the winners, and I will post it either tonight or tomorrow. So now my voice is getting super, super hoarse. I'll post the replay in this team page. We have our Super Saturday, guys. Show of hands, who has their ticket for Super Saturday already? It is October 29th, Saturday. They're local. Amanda. Okay, guys, if you're on this call, that means you want a business opportunity for the most part, right? Or you're peeking into the business opportunity. You need to be at Super Saturday. It is 4 times a year. It's 2 hours of your life 4 times a year. This is a job that has complete flexibility and freedom, with the exception of 8 hours a year. There is not another job like that. If you treat it like a business, it will pay you like a business. If you don't show up at Super Saturday, you're not showing up in your business, right? So they have guest tickets. If you have friends that are interested in what a challenge group is or what Beachbody is, they can come as a guest, so you don't feel like oh, I don't want to go alone. Like, bring your husband, bring your neighbor, bring your sister. You can bring anybody. So Super Saturday, there's an event. I'll share it in the team page. Make sure you're registered for that. As always, be aware of what Summit is next July in New Orleans. And I think that is it. Super Saturday. I feel like there was one more thing I wanted to share. Amanda, am I missing something? I feel like I missed.
Is Tina on the call still, or did she leave?
She had to drop off. Do you want to share your tips for your, because you run
Okay.
your
I was
challenge?
going to say, I feel like
3
she had
minutes.
something.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's amazing.
I wrote some things down. I feel like, so we talked about doing, I run going with free groups. I love holidays, like every holiday. If it's like Columbus Day, I don't care what it is. I love holidays. So every single month, whatever season or holidays happening, I run my free group based on that. So I have a really fun Halloween one planned. I haven't made an event yet. I have to do that today. And so it's going to be crazy. Like, we're going to do pumpkin workouts, and every day we're going to do a fitness challenge, and I'll do, we'll talk about how many burpees you have to do if you want to eat a Milky Way. And just, I find it easy to, I go on Pinterest, I search Halloween fitness, and boom, there's a million things. And I run it pretty much the same every month. So I always do I typically do a 5-day. I do a fitness challenge in the morning that I'll post the night before. So that way, if people wake up before me, they can do it. I have people post, share recipes, whatever the theme is, and then share your food log at night. And they get a certain amount of points for every activity they do. And then at the end, whoever has the most points gets a free gift. And it's typically something I've already bought or I've already gotten, or once in a while I'll buy an Amazon gift card if someone like really went above and beyond. And I've really, honestly, all my SC points pretty much come from my free challenge group. People seem to really respond to the like fun, crazy, holiday theme, and then the daily challenges with the points. I think people like to be competitive, honestly. It seems like.
My thing with tracking points is I end up getting so involved in like tallying. So do you have a quick tip? We have a minute left.
Okay, I do what you do at night. I go through every time I see that someone's commented, posted anything, they get a tally. So it's very simple. It's quick, jot, jot, jot. So one person could get 50 and one person could get 5, just depending on how active they were.
Okay. And how much time do you spend in a challenge group on any given day?
The free groups, maybe 10 minutes, not even.
Okay. And how about your full challenge groups?
Probably about the same.
Okay. So it's up to you how you want to manage your time, guys. I know for me, when I first started, I was always in my challenge groups, and it took so much time that I was not able to invite. And I felt like, oh my God, there's so much more to do. So you have to be disciplined. If you are that person, it's you. It's not the job. You do not need to be in your challenge groups more than 10 minutes a day. That is your choice. So you have to be disciplined. And it's just about recognizing, self-checking, and working from your work list, right? So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Amanda, for speaking, and Dre, and have an awesome night. I will post the replay. And October 19th is our next Coaches Wine Chat, like wine and Prize-a-Palooza, open to anybody, not just coaches, not just challengers. Invite people to the opportunity